What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the first episode of 2023 of the True Beast podcast, Muscle Bully episodes. And tonight, we got a very special guest by the name of Bernard Toney of Rocktown Bullies. He brings a lot of knowledge, a lot of inspiration, and stuff like that. And of course, we're doing a fit collar giveaway. So if you entered in the giveaway on that post, then want to say thank you. And then we're going to bring in Roger. And I'm not for sure if Zach is going to make it tonight. So it is what it is. And we're excited about that. And so let's bring on Roger.
What's going on?
What's up, Raj?
What's going on?
It might just be you and me tonight,
Yeah.
looks like.
Well, we'll get it done. Is.
Is your mic on?
You can't hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you a little
You
bit.
sound fine.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to bring on Bernard Toney.
I do.
Do you know much about Bernard? I think I met him when I met you for the first
I
time.
know his bull, obviously, because mine's off of his. So, yeah, that's right.
I figured.
Good.
So how was your New
complain.
Year's?
Yeah, we just stayed home. Obviously, went down to my daughter's house. What's up?
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
Oh, good.
It was good.
Good, man. How was your New Year's? Excellent, man. So I know this is your first time probably checking out the episode and how we do it over here. We got a spinner wheel that we do giveaways on these episodes, and how people can enter these giveaways is by asking a quality question. So if you ask a quality question, go down to the question box down at the bottom and ask a quality question that you think that you could learn from or bring value from. And I got two guys on here that can definitely help you out, especially if you're in the bully game, right? And so we're also doing a fit collar giveaway. So if you guys, again, are just tuning in and you join the fit collar giveaway, we got the wheel going on over here. So we'll start answering those towards the end of the night after we interview Bernard. And let's just get it started, man. Like, how long you been in the bully game?
Well, I'm Bernard Toney, CEO of Rocktown Bullies. I got started in 2018. Fell in love with the Bullies, and it's been up ever since.
What was the first dog that caught your eyes that actually got you to fall in love with the
That
breed?
would be Champion Grim.
Oh, yeah. I know a little bit about him.
Rocco.
Yeah. Did you attend a show? Is that where you ended up seeing them at, or was it something that you kind of did, like, I don't know, like I did? I got online and started researching pit bulls, and then I saw the American Bully.
In 2018, I want to say, in Louisville. So how I got started really was me and Jeremiah. We used to be partners, and we ended up buying Big Girl from James Broham out of Ohio bully camp. So our plan with her was to run her to Rocco. I'd never seen Grim before, so he had went to the show that I didn't attend and seen Grim. So once he showed me the videos and this and that, I'm like, I still want to take her to Rocco. And he was like, man, once you see Graham in person, you're going to change your mind. So that year was 2018 Louisville Nationals, and we end up going out there, and once I seen Graham, I was like, oh yeah, we're going to her. So
Yeah, for sure. I never got the privilege to see Graham in person. I'm sure you have, Roger, right?
Times. What came off of that litter, Bernard?
So we produced off that litter the one and only Cash Money. Rest in peace to Cash Money. It was Cash Money, Karma, Nyla, and we end up having another one that we end up heading home off of that one. So
okay,
the number one Cash Money, man.
Nice. Now, I know you are probably most well known for Luca Brasi. So how did Luca come into play?
Luca came into play when Sam had that litter, because Sam and Jeremiah were more. I don't talk. You know what I'm saying? I really don't talk. I got dogs that people probably never seen before, so I'm more laid back. So Jeremiah was telling me about, Sam had this dog name. He didn't have a name yet, but had these dogs off of an inbred litter. So I'm like, okay, let me check it out. So end up buying a dog from Sam, and history was made.
Yeah. It ended up being Luca Brasi of all dogs.
Grand champion Luca Brasi.
That's right.
Put some
That
hard work
was
in
a
for that dog. Put some
that
hard
was a
work
good
in for that dog.
pickup though. Yeah, he was
Hard work.
honestly the first time we saw him was in Jacksonville. You had him down there, and Dina and I are still like super new to to Bullies. And you had him over. But I still got the picture. We still look at it every once in a while where Dina shot a picture with him in the parking lot out there. So
Yep.
yeah, and that was just one of those dogs like that motivated us to get into it. So,
Now
and that's how we ended up. We ended up with Mac, right? Yeah, because it's off Luca.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, strange how we all tie together somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, for someone who's pretty quiet, I follow you on Facebook, and what really stood out is just like your mindset on your posts. What inspires you to do those type of motivational posts daily and stuff like that?
You know what I mean? Like, I always look at stuff like, obviously we all have problems, but I'm always solution based. You know what I mean? Like, okay, figure out the problem, but focus more on the solution. That's how I always been. You know what I mean? So that's just me. I like motivating people.
For sure.
Yeah, when I had told Roger that we had you on as a guest, and I was like, I mean, he has a similar mindset to us. Like problems are there. And this can go in all aspects of life, but especially in the bully community. I mean, when you identify a problem, that is a area and an opportunity for you to strengthen your game, man, and add another tool to your toolbox. And I think one of my key words this year, because I got 3 different words I'm going to be focused on. One is perspective, and having a unique perspective towards quality problems and stuff like that, and seeing how we can grow from them. And it's helped me in my business for sure. So when you produced Luca Brasi, did you know right off the bat out of that litter that he was going to be your pick?
That credit goes to
That
credit goes to Sam.
I'm sorry, I apologize for that.
So Luca Brasi was purchased. So, but I knew he was.
Yeah.
Since I think we started getting Luca ready when he was probably about 5 months as far as training. Like for the longest time,
nice.
Luca be gone with Hannah and up to Chicago at training camp for 3-4 months at a time,
right?
Because we knew we was pushing to get Luca champed out. I mean, he almost I don't know how many points it was, but Luca almost became champion. I want to say, was it under 6 months, I believe.
Okay.
So.
Wow.
ABKC. So, but yeah, we knew for a long time, and then I used to just hit the road. Like for the longest, I was on the road like every other weekend, from Texas to Louisiana to Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee. Just
definitely hitting it hard.
Yeah.
He granded in Iowa. Was it? Not where we were. I believe.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think it was Iowa.
It
all kind of blur. I remember that day. I remember I was there.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Iowa. That's cool.
So, how important explain to everybody how important it is to actually hit the road when you're talking about campaigning a stud, or just a dog in general.
It's very important to campaign your dog because, I did it personally because I want people. I don't like selling a bad product or nothing like that. I want to be able to show the people exactly what they're getting. So that's the reason why we used to hit the road a lot, because you can see a dog on photos and stuff like that, but with the way things be going, just to be honest, people be playing with the pictures. So I never wanted that stigma on my name. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna show you the product, I'm gonna show you the dog, and if you still want to use them, at least you can say I seen that dog in person. And me personally, I never use a stud that I never seen in person. That's just my personal opinion. I won't do that. So if your dog's in California and I want to use them, I'm gonna fly out to California and see them.
It's a great policy.
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
So campaigning is very important because you let people see what they actually get, in my opinion.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think too, like some dogs are not as impressive in person, and some dogs are like super impressive in person and not very impressive in photos, So I think you're right, man. I mean, it's just like doing business with anybody. You really want to
right,
go out and meet the person, get the feel of them
right.
and
So I
stuff like that as
mean,
well.
another thing is like with people seeing them, they never. I mean, we went to shows plenty of times, and I guess people um, thought that our dogs were photoshopped, but when they seen them in person, they seen the real gorillas. That's what we used to we used to call
That's
them. Like
right.
that's how we used to
Yep.
campaign. Like we know we're going to South Carolina, we'll put out a post and everything, and let them know that we coming to town with the gorillas. So, and
Yeah.
that's what it
Sure.
is.
So how important is marketing, would you say, when it comes to having a successful program in the community, and what type of things do you do for your marketing campaigns outside of just
Good
traveling?
photos. You know what I mean. I try to, like for the longest with Luca, and for a while there, I was probably shooting with Jim, which is James Alba. Toy Soldier, shooting with him probably at least once a month, if not twice a month, and then also with another photographer that I like is Joseph Ward, having him come out shoot photos. I mean, you got to keep it. You got to keep it in people's face. You got to keep show people your dogs, and posting and stuff like that. It's very important. It's very important. Besides, like you
Absolutely.
say, getting on the road and everything.
Yeah, Luca was one of those ones that I think when I was trying to get a hold of Sam initially, to make
Mm-hmm.
that first contact, I had run across a photo of Luca and Hannah like sitting on the stoop. Well, I sent you the picture, and like that was one of those. I was like, oh, I'm getting a hold of this guy. I'm like, that was the photo. I was like, that's it. I'm getting a hold of this guy. It wasn't until later that I actually got to meet Grim and Zero, but definitely that he was one of those ones that motivated us to get in for sure. There's no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. He's an impressive dog from when I seen him. And so from your personal perspective, what is the future of your vision? And like, if you were to break him down, what are some of the strengths and maybe the weaknesses that you see in him that you want to
So
improve
grand
with your
champion
vision?
Luca Blackson. I mean, he has muscle definition. He has the bone. Luca's 14 in the quarter. Perfect height that I like. I mean, I'll take 14. The bit size of head. I wish he had a bigger head. Um, other than that, man,
Yeah,
Luca, man. Like these new studs that's out. In my opinion, he'll give them a run for their money.
For sure.
And that's no diss to
absolutely.
nobody. There's
Now you
no
have a
subliminals and that and nothing like that. It's just the truth. Anybody that's seen Luca and seen these newer dogs, like me personally, I haven't been out on the road for it's been I can't. What's the last show I went to? Nationals, not this past year, but the year before when I went down to Dallas. Was it, Rob?
Yeah.
What was that? Yeah,
Yep.
Dallas. Yeah. So we haven't been on the
Yeah, it was
road
Dallas.
since then. I kind of got burnt out with it. You know what I mean? Because I was running for at
Yeah.
least 2 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Now you're still running. You're still running businesses. You got a
yeah,
business, and what else do
yeah.
you do?
I got multiple businesses. So I have a dumpster business that I run. I have a Trap Victorian, which is a motivational kind of speaking and just positive thinking and stuff like that me and another guy runs. And just a lot of other stuff I do, man. It's a lot of other stuff. I mean, with the dogs, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
my dogs now that I got, because I've been selective on my breeding, so I really haven't. I mean, probably within last year, I probably underbred maybe twice. I mean, I got some Luca kids right now that's ready to go. That's my next lineup. I think I'm gonna bring them out and start pushing them this year. They are 5 months as of the 27th of December, so getting them ready and maybe get back out on the road. You know what I mean? This depends.
There you go.
So yeah, I'm excited to see you go for another run. That'd be great, especially because without everybody's vision evolves, and it's always interesting to see what direction everybody goes, because with this breed, it seems like there's so many different directions, when it comes to the look of it and the phenotype, and so it's just I noticed that I was looking on your page. You have a dog by the name of Six, right? It's the number Six
That's
IX.
grand
Is his
champion
name
Luca
Six?
Braxton, little mate brother. I mean, me
Oh, Little
personally,
Mate brother.
like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, Six is a bad dog, man. He's bigger head, a little bit taller than Luca. Back's a little bit longer than what I
Uh-huh.
prefer. You know what I mean? But as far as like anybody in his category, as far as he bigger head, everything, it's just I paid more attention to Luca than I did him. Like I should have been bringing him out when I was bringing Luca out. He's not
Yeah.
he's not a show dog at all.
Mm.
But as far as like on the side of the ring, like stacked up the way, because I like the ring and I like to stack up too. Like if I would have brought him out with Luca and focused Luca more on the ring and then stacked him up on the outside of the ring, it'd be a duo. Like it's like Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
That's right. Actually, I saw him in Chicago,
Yeah, I feel
I
you.
believe it was.
Yeah, Chicago.
At a show, you brought him there. Yeah. Yeah, he's a big boy. Boy.
Yeah.
So you got a couple. Good.
So,
I was going to say you got.
no, go ahead. I'm
You
looking
got
for
a
some of these
few
questions.
hidden.
Always
We're thinking about bringing out at some point.
They call me the king of hiding, man. Anybody that know me,
Hey.
man, know Bernard got something hid. So
That's right.
I got a couple. I got a couple. I think I'm gonna bring out, and I've been training them a little bit myself, and getting them ready to go, man. So they'll be out this sometime this year. Female.
What about the bitches?
I got female. You talking about grown females or puppies?
Yeah, it seems like everybody, a lot of people should campaign their studs, but they always got a stable of, nice females.
I'm kind of low on my females, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I got micro females. Micro females. So I got small females.
Right.
Other than that, like
I was going to say, you did jump into micros there for a little while.
Yeah, so I mean, I ain't really. And then the females I did have, I found a good homes. You know what I mean? They gave me what I wanted. So everybody else is still small.
Right.
Everybody is still puppies. So
that's right.
Now, with the current state of the community, as far as like if you were to coach somebody, because I mean you have a motivational business as well, what are some of the do's and don'ts would you recommend as far as campaigning or getting into the game? Period. What would be some of the advice you would give everybody?
Drama, man. Like all that drama, man. Just let the dog speak for itself. I don't speak that much, but then when I do speak, you know what I mean. I'm gonna give you a good game. You know what I mean, regardless of how they feel about you or whatever the case may be. But there's a lot of drama in the game right now, man. Everybody wants to do this and do that. Like I don't play no parts in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one thing that we talked about on this podcast, is that we wanted to go the opposite direction from what the community. We wanted to be a value-driven type podcast, and I think that really is what kind of sets us apart, is because it's all about, I think in any type of business, you have to bring value first to any type of relationship or any type of business. A lot of people kind of want value first before giving it, and it's kind of like backwards in my opinion. If you want to be successful.
I think personally, just you can't really do nothing by yourself. So find you a good group of people that's pretty much on the same thing you on, and build from it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if I had something on my yard and me and Roger were teamed up and he had something on his yard, okay, Roger might want to use, say, Luca's son or something, and I like his female. I'd be like, Roger, let's work together. We don't, just give me a pup off of that or whatever, and just vice versa. You know what I mean? Like that's how it's supposed to be. Like you don't have to always go out and I own studs. Roger owns studs, but I mean, you can use other people's stuff that you in their circle with. You know what I mean? Just you gotta bring
sure.
Stay out the drama, man. And stay out of it.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Did either of you guys get a chance to see the live that Khan and
I
Bashar
seen
did
some
together?
of it. I seen some of it.
Yeah,
I
seemed like it
watched
got
it
a lot of
back. Yeah.
traction, and it was one of those things. Yeah, it seemed like it got a lot of
Yeah.
traction, which is good for the community. That's what people want. They want value at the end of the day. So I know we got some questions, Roger. Can you see any of the
Let me
questions, or do you want me to
see
go ahead
if
and read
I
them
can
off?
see any of the questions. So let me ask you, since I've never done this, the newest questions at the bottom or at the top? Just go somewhere.
It doesn't matter.
Scroll
Just
through
I
the
kind of
bottom.
like thumb through
Okay.
them. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You read one, I'll read one. And real quick, as you're looking, Roger, for those who want to be entered into the bonus wheel, so tonight we're giving away a fit collar, right? So if you got on the post and you participated in the rules, you got added to one wheel, and then we're going to do another wheel for those who ask questions. So there's going to be 2 winners tonight on the fit collar. So if you have a question, ask a quality question. It's going to bring value to the community and to the listeners, and we'll ask it and we'll enter you in the wheel.
All right. So
And please ask them in the question box.
So first question is from Smith Family Bullies. It's actually to you, Stan. What exactly does the fit collar work on?
It's an enhancement tool, just like with any type of resistance training. It starts with, honestly, it starts with the stabilizer muscles in the feet. A lot of people have the misconception where, for example, the fit collar is just going to work the neck, but the truth is it's not just going to work the neck. It's going to work the back shoulders. It's going to start with the feet and the stabilizer muscles there, but it just depends on what you do with it. I mean, if you utilize it while your dog's running up a hill, it can work the rear. If you're doing spring pull or like flirt pull type stuff, it can work other areas of the body. But it can deal with behavior issues. We've seen it do a lot of similar things that the X-Dog vest does, just as a little bit different tool.
Cool.
All right, so let me see here. Okay, so this one is from the real Alfonso.
Yep.
The real Alfonso. What are the biggest challenges when first starting a dog breeding business, and is there any way to overcome them, Bernard?
First getting in the game, man, I would personally say just take your time. You know what I mean? Like when I first got in the game, I think in 2018, I ended up buying probably 6 dogs. Would I do that again? Probably no. I mean, I would just get a nice male, which was my first male was Luca, and get a nice female and just build off of that. I spent a lot of money, and I just take your time. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, nobody wants to. If you can, I would say start with a adult female or something like that. If you impatient, but I think that's the worst thing I could have done is bought those 6 dogs in 1 year, man.
Yeah. I had a client come in today, and they bought their first dog, but they were like, how do we, now that we're in the bully game, we kind of know what we're supposed to buy. We're starting to see what we want, but how could we have purchased the right dog right off the bat? You know what I mean? And that's the hardest thing. When you're on the outside, it's impossible to know. Like all the information that's on Google searches isn't worth a shit. Like it's going to lead you down the wrong road.
Right.
When you finally get into the community and you actually start seeing them, then that's a different story. Then you can start to see what it is that you want to get. So, I mean, that's probably good advice is don't go crazy. If you want to buy a dog, buy one. Just in case at some point your perspective changes, right? You're not 6 dogs deep when you finally figure out that maybe you want pockets instead of standards,
Right.
So that makes a lot of sense.
That was my thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, just figure out what you want, man, and just go from there, and just be patient. You got to be patient even with life. You know what I'm saying? You got to be patient. When you rush into something, you're gonna run into a problem.
Oh wow, you can mark them answered, Stan. I can't do that.
Yeah. I'm learning. This is usually Zach's job, but
so
he's
Stephanie
out of commission.
Big Mike's Bullies. What's your favorite feature of the American Bully?
My favorite feature of the American Bully would be I like a big head, man. I like a dog with a big old head, man. That's
right.
Like to me personally, I think I love Cash head. You know what I mean? That head was super big, man. And I like, just to detour a little bit. Like we was down in Jacksonville, like I like that type of atmosphere. I think you were there, weren't you, Roger? When we all stacked up, and
Yes, sir.
it was
Mm-hmm.
you had Shamrock, you had Luca, you had Cash, you had I think Shots Fired. I think it is his name. Yeah, Shots Fired.
Yeah, Baby Cakes
Yeah,
was there.
Baby Cakes, Bad Medicine, the guy out of
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta. Yeah, it was. I like a big old head, man, especially on a
Yeah,
14 and a quarter inch dog, or say within 15. So,
for sure.
Yeah. For those asking questions to enter the wheel tonight, be sure to ask them in the question box because we're not going to be able to keep up with the feed. So please do that. So this question is probably for both of you guys since you guys have kennels. This one's from Beast of Peace _first. Are y'all willing to breed a man eater that has potential to be a grand champion?
a man eater. What does he mean by that?
I'm thinking maybe
No,
like aggressive
I
towards
don't.
people, a dog that may be
I
aggressive.
don't deal with
Where
that.
did
Like I don't play with dogs like that because they're a liability. You know what I mean? Like you gonna end up getting yourself in trouble, and then you're gonna breed that. You know what I mean? Like that dog's aggressive. You're gonna pass that on to the puppies and so on and so
yeah.
forth. So no, I don't deal with them type of dog man eaters.
Okay. So this is a question from Suave Cash. Do you believe that if a dog poops or pees in the ring, it should be disqualified?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it happened to me. It happened to me several times. Like Luca, man, he just get nervous, man.
Yeah.
So it happens to me before. I mean, was I mad about it? Because it's been times where I drove 12, 13 hours for him to get kicked out of one of the shows. But it is what it is, man. Rules is
Yeah.
rules. You know what I mean? They got the rules set up, so you got to follow them.
That's right.
What are your thoughts on that, Roger? Do you believe that if a dog poops or pees in the ring, should it be disqualified?
I think it kind of depends, really. I mean, if you're in a grand champion class and your dog takes a big shit in the floor, I don't know. That's kind of weird. Because those dogs are well trained. You know what I mean? Those dogs are well trained. When they're younger puppies,
Yeah.
I
Right.
get it.
That's when Luca
Sometimes they take a squat,
mostly did
but
his. Yeah, that's when Luca mostly did
yeah,
his when he was younger.
but I don't think they should be disqualified necessarily. But I think it looks bad. I don't know. I think a judge probably on a subconscious level like sees that. You know what I mean, and pays attention to it.
He's probably not gonna pick you anyway after that happens.
Yeah.
So
Because I know I've heard tons of people like that dog get picked after I pissed in the floor, and people will be like, "Oh man," like they were definitely butthurt about it.
Yeah. All right. So, question from King Duke _Bullies. Should you start your program with a male or a female?
I would say a female because then you can start building off of that. Start with a female, get you a nice stud picked out, and be able to keep what you want off of that. You know what I mean? Like you can start building your yard from that female. With a male,
Yeah.
you're gonna be limited. I mean, you can shock them around to hopefully somebody wants to do a pup back with you or something like that. But I would say start out with a female because you got more options to be able to keep puppies off of it and stuff like that.
What about
Yeah,
you, Raj?
I think definitely a female. Two reasons. One, it forces you to wait, right? You got that 2 years you're waiting for her to come around, get ready to be bred. That gives you the opportunity to learn a whole lot, right? You can kind of learn. Hell, by the time she's old enough to breed, you may be like, I ain't breeding this bitch,
Right.
or you may have to go get another one.
Before too.
It's very possible. But with a stud, right, they're about a year old, and we see guys that have studs all the time. And they're pushing them on social media, and like everyone's like giving the fire emoji, but we all know they're not that cool. And it's
they gotta stop.
You know what I mean?
Y'all gotta stop that.
Yeah. But the reality of it is after a couple years, they figure it out. Those dogs disappear. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they go find other dogs. So the female, that's a huge advantage on. Yeah, and it's a huge advantage to have that female kind of forcing you to slow down and take your time and learn a little bit before she's ready to breed.
Yeah. Okay. So underscore X Factor underscore bullies. How do you guys pick your keepers? What are some of the attributes you look for?
Me personally, I look for like I like big heads, so I look for top score as puppies. I mean, as when they're younger. I look at how thick their tail is to see how thick they're gonna be. I mean, it's been puppies I pick like that and see it's gonna sound weird, but I look at the butthole. Yeah.
The butthole.
You know what I mean?
It's a well
common theme,
discussed
man.
subject. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Well discussed.
And that's being a dog breeder. You know what I mean? It's the stuff you look for because
Yeah.
it's been times where
Yeah.
I let dogs go that I shouldn't have let go because I didn't know no better. But to each his own, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think with anybody
All right.
doing,
So here's a
let's say,
good question.
anybody that if you don't know, like if you don't know for sure what dog you're going to pick, just keep them longer.
Oh, yeah.
Like keep them
These ones.
as long as you have to until you can figure out which one is yours because you don't want to give away the good one.
Sure. Yeah. So, all right. Althea underscore the underscore Mally underscore 8. What is your guys' food programs for your dogs currently look like? Like, how do you get them show ready? I guess you would say,
Ready, I mean, I like my dog stick. You know what I mean? Like Luca, when he was running, depending on what I'm coming to do. Like me personally, if I know I want to show Luca in the ring, I take some weight off of him. But if I know, like for example, we went down to Jacksonville, Florida, a few years back, I knew I wasn't getting in the ring with him, so I wanted him stack weight. So just depends on what I'm doing. You know what I mean? If I'm showing him in the ring, I want him lighter so he moves better. But if I'm just stacking him up,
okay.
I want him with more weight on him.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's something that's new in here. That people don't commonly talk about. Stack weight versus show weight.
Did you say something about feeding?
Makes sense.
Did you say?
Yeah, like feeding. Like what are you guys' current feeding programs? Like I know Roger switched up some food, right?
Yeah. Well, we've been feeding a Nookchuk for a while, and we recently switched to the Marine. So the Marine kind of ditches that chicken and the wheat and changes that for fish protein. So we've only been feeding it a couple days, so I don't have any opinion on it yet. But so far, they like it. They like the smell of it for sure.
Why not chicken and wheat? If you don't mind answering.
I did have I have one female that seems to be a little reactive to chicken, and I think the amount of chicken was pretty minimal in the food. Like it wasn't enough in the food to have her have a reaction on a regular basis. She would just kind of break out every once in a while. When she had a litter and we actually started boiling chicken and giving it to her, then she went crazy. So we realized it was the chicken that was getting to her. There's probably 2 dogs that just have like mild reactions, and I wasn't able to narrow it down until we got the food switch, and then I'm starting to see that's what that was.
Gotcha.
Me personally, I mean, people probably don't think it's true, but I only feed my dogs one time a day. I mean, it's really like when people ask about the food, like what are you feeding them, because they thinking, okay, the more you feed the dogs, the bigger they're gonna get. I mean, the dogs that I have in my program, and Roger has something true, it's really genetics, man. It's really genetics, and people don't kind of get that. They thinking you over there just feeding your dogs 30 pounds of food a day or something. It's not that case.
The more you feed them, the more shit you're going to see.
Well, there's a lot of...
That's another reason. And then once you figure out what you got as far as like genetics and this and that, man, Luca be lucky. I mean, he'll be happy with 2 cups of food a day. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of science behind that. When you actually overfeed and feed too much, it can cause inflammation, and your dog's not gonna absorb it. It's literally just gonna pass a lot of the nutrients because it can't absorb it, right? And so when you give your dog that ability to clean out its system, it's probably getting more out of that calories, out of the 2 cups than it would be getting out of 6 cups in a lot of cases. And people don't quite understand that. I mean, me and Roger, we talk about it all the time. We talk about how we intermittent fast and just the energy levels. And when we do actually eat food, it kind of gives us energy and stuff now because we're able to absorb more of the nutrients instead of constantly being inflamed. And yeah. And another benefit of not I mean, we all know there's scientific evidence. There's no debating this, that disease all lies within inflammation. So if you guys want your dogs to live longer, stop overfeeding them and feeding them too much.
Sure.
So here's a question from Suave Cash. How do you feel about Colossal and his production versus, I'm thinking he's saying King Kong Productions. I don't know who King Kings is, but if I'm wrong, you feel free to correct me. I haven't seen any King Kong Productions yet. I think maybe that could be Bashar's new dog.
If that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, Bashar dog. Me personally, I've seen a few of Colosso's. King Kong, I haven't, but I mean, I don't have no preference. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
yeah, it's too early to maybe tell.
Yeah, he corrected there. He said gotcha. King Kong. I have a Colossal female, so I am impressed with her. I like her a lot.
Have you seen Colossal? Have any of you seen Colossal in person?
Not.
I personally have not. No,
I haven't either.
Not.
Yeah. Okay. All right. GQ_Bulls. What's the best way to promote your very first litter when starting a breeding program?
How to promote? Best promote. I would say just constant. Me personally, like when I used to have productions and everything, just posting on social media and getting them out there. I mean, most people don't want to kind of realize this or whatever, but most of the people, like, we're in the bully game, so you have to have a top production, my opinion, a top production for another breeder to come buy your dog. Most of these dogs are going to go, you know, to pet homes. You know, that's just my opinion. That's really what is happening. You know, I mean, I got other breeders that buy dogs from me and all that, but you know, most of them go to pet homes. If I show you some of my pet homes, you'd be like, that dog should be out in the show ring or something. But you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's right.
Way back in the days, like back in early 2003, 2004, I remember when I used to go out to California a lot, they always had these places called ghost kennels, and it was just people who were just dog owners who had dogs that were just unbelievable, but no one knew of them. You know, like some of the dogs that they would have brought them to shows were just probably dominated or just, you know, better versions of what was being shown at the time. So it's always interesting, man. You know.
For real, man.
Yeah. I've seen some people. I've seen some dogs on Instagram where they won't. They're just pet dogs. You know, they make up their own personal account through the owners made their own personal account through there, and they won't breed the dog. You know, and I'm like, holy shit, that dog is fire. You know,
that happened to me before.
So
where I sold a pet home.
Did it?
And you know, like Roger was saying, like the litter I have now. Like I said, they're 5 months, and they probably won't go nowhere until they gonna all get co-owned out, but they won't go nowhere until at least 8 months. But there was a lady I sold a male to, and he ended up turning out. But I sold him super early, but he ended up turning out, and I tried to double back and like let's show this dog, let's breed this dog and this and that. And she was like, "No, it's not gonna happen."
That's the worst part, isn't it?
Yeah,
damn,
it's not gonna happen. It's my pet. You know what I mean? Like I don't know nothing about that breeding and showing and all that. I want my dog to be at home with me and chilling out. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's that's always an interesting situation how people, you know, I mean, to each his own, right? Like it is what it is. The dog's probably living an amazing life. Our Aries god of bullies, who in your opinion has been a prime female producer?
My personal one is Sam Coco, and if anybody doesn't know, Coco is the mom of had to bring the Golden Child. Golden Child.
Golden Child. We talked about her last week.
A few more out of there. Like I had a female, which reminded me a lot of a Coco. Her name was Remy the Hemi. But out of that whole litter, man, that whole litter was fire. Like Sam knocked it out the park with that litter. Like out of all those dogs, if you lined up all Coco productions as far as off of Golden Child, you would have never thought Golden Child would have come from Grim and Coco at all. So I would say Coco that Sam has.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
Interesting.
I'm trying to think. I can't think of another female that has been as influential as that female.
And she
Not
produced
just
one of the
doesn't pop
top
off in my
studs.
head. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, for sure. And all classes, which is crazy.
All right.
Yep.
Solidified_Midwest_bullies. How do you feel proper socialization in young pups affects them as they mature and become a part of society?
Yeah, you have to. But I go for example as far as like with Six, like I was focusing more on Luca, and I lack socialization with him, and to this day he's not really go outside my yard type of dog. You know what I mean? Like we go on walks and everything, but as far as like going to like dog parks and stuff like that, he freaks out because I never socialized him when he was a puppy, because like I said, you know, I take the blame for it. I was focusing more on Luca and getting him where he needed to be. Yeah. So it's very important. It's very important. I would say, yeah, socialize your dogs. You know, obviously, if you're gonna take them to public dog parks, and that makes sure they got all their shots and everything. But yeah, socialize them puppies so they learn how to be around people and other dogs. Yeah,
especially if you're going to show, right? You want your dogs to, I mean, you judges and strangers got to be able to touch them. Anything to add on to that, Raj?
No, I mean, he's got a great point. We basically what we would do, we'll just take dogs with us. Like if my wife goes into the office, she just takes the dog with her to the office, right? So that dog is just constantly used to being exposed to people it doesn't know, right? And then it doesn't know a stranger because everybody's a stranger. It's not a big deal to that dog. Like you're constantly seeing people. But keeping your dog tucked away at home and it only sees its family when it goes out into public, it's going to have a weird reaction. It doesn't know how to react to people it doesn't know. So definitely socialization is important.
All right. Nellie Watts, what is your least favorite thing to see in the ring when it comes to structure? Example, stiff stifles, high rears, heavier front end. What's the worst thing you hate seeing? What's like one of those flaws, I guess?
He's going to say tiny head.
Yeah, tiny head. I don't like no tiny head, man. Stiff stifles, I would say. Stiff stifles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stiff stifles.
For sure.
All right. Big Daddy's Bull House. At what age do you start show lead training?
Young. I mean, like I said, Luca was, I think we first put a leash on him and show lead and all that, man. I think he was probably about 4 months. Like when you know you want to show a dog, even if you just want to be personally, like if you want to be able to walk your dog, you need to get them used to something around their neck, because if you go and try to walk a dog and he never had something around him or her, never had nothing around their neck, they're gonna fight you all day long. But if you get something to keep on their neck, you know what I mean? So they're used to it. All you gotta do is hook up a leash and go. But yeah, Luca, I want to say I started him out when he was about 4 months, put something around his neck. So then, but I knew in my head that, you know, I wanted this dog to be a grand champion. So I knew I had to start him earlier. I mean, if you know your dog is not going to be, if you're not going to try to show him or nothing like that, I guess you could start a little bit later, but the earlier the better, in my opinion.
That totally makes sense. All right. _X Factor _bullies. What are some of the biggest mistakes you made and learned from with these bullies? I guess the most impactful mistake you've made.
Bullies, I would say,
Pet home and the dog that you
something like
wanted to
that,
use.
man. Yeah, that's one of the biggest mistakes. But just, I mean, it all boils back down to, man, you gotta be patient and, you know, what I mean, look at the pedigrees and this and that, and like with me, when I do something, I'm looking at the end goal already before it even happens. So know what your end goal is going to be, and then just go for it. You know what I mean? Like, don't do what everybody else is doing. You know what I mean? Like, try to be different. You know what I mean? It's cool to be different. It's cool to be different, in my opinion.
For sure.
What about some people who are, just getting in the game and, they don't have the luxury to be able to sit on dogs, like they got to feed them, stuff like that. There's a lot of vet bills and stuff. Would you recommend not getting into dogs until you're able, or because we know it gives you such a huge advantage? Like I know everybody I know who is successful has other sources of income.
With me personally, like, I mean, I love the dogs. I got a lot of dogs. I love them, but at the same time, I don't depend on it to take care of my house. You know what I mean? Like I don't. It's just it's an expensive hobby. I would say that. You know what I mean? So don't overbreed, because it's been time and where I have five litters on the ground, and that's horrible. That's a lot. You know what I mean? That's a lot to do.
5? Holy shit!
You know what I mean? Like I had, I started out with, like I said, that year I bought six dogs, and 5 of them was females. So, you know what I mean?
So,
I came in hot. Yeah,
you came in hot.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
5 litters.
And then they all came in, like, with them litters, the way I had it set up sometime, man, it seemed like I have one female go in, then 2 weeks later, they all sync up.
They all sync up. Yeah, they all end up syncing up. Yeah.
Going,
and it was interesting because we had talked, and Zach had brought it up, and a lot of the reasons, I forget what he read it somewhere, but basically the females will sync up just in case something happens to the bit. So if they're in a pack, there's like almost like somebody coming up second just in case, So it's just a biological thing that happens with females. All right. So Suave Cash, do you think it's easier to produce a badass male or badass female?
When you say, I mean, I guess he's talking about like mating the dogs and producing. I mean, it's gonna be it can go either way. You know what I mean? It can go either way. You never know what's gonna come out of that litter. So it can go either way. I mean, as far as depending on how you're trying to build your program. Like me personally, I'm with Luca and did what we did as far as campaigning and stuff like that and moving around the country. I like that more than having females. But I know I need females to produce the next hottest thing or the next piece of the puzzle I need. But as far as like whelping and all that, that's not me. I'd rather get out here on the road and campaign and do what I need to do as far as with a hot stud. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. FG Border Collies. What's one piece of advice you wish you were given starting out your program?
Buy no 6 dogs. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, that year I bought all them dogs, man. It is what it is, but I wish somebody would like, man, just slow down. But I wanted to get it to the finish line faster. So I'm thinking, okay, I knew I wanted to, create a nice dog and this and that. So the more females I had, the better chance I had of getting there. All I had to do was just find the studs and line everything up to get what I wanted.
Which slow down is good advice, but it doesn't hurt to buy 6 dogs. Don't get me wrong, because I bought more than I did that. But to teach your brain to say, just slow down and just wait. Like, wait to see what happens. You know what I mean? And understand that's what it's going to take. Like, it's not – most of the time, if you see somebody come up on the internet and their stud's a big shit and they're making it out, they didn't just start. They've probably been in Bullies for a while, and they're just now getting to the point where they're making noise. You know what I mean? To you, as the person perceiving, you think they came out of nowhere. But the reality is they've probably been doing it for a long time. So, just take your time, put in the work,
All right.
learn. I think that's the best advice.
And another thing,
Can you see this
I can't.
question? Oh, go ahead.
another
Sorry.
thing is that I mean, with these dogs, man, you're gonna have your ups and downs. You're gonna have it. It's gonna happen. Like some people
for
talk
sure.
about it, some people don't. But it's a lot of stuff that happens on the back end. As far as litters, females dying or whatever the case may be, is you just gotta be open minded when you come in. Everything is not gonna be all good all day long. It's not. You know what I mean? You're gonna take some losses. It just depends on how far in. You might not take them in the beginning, but it just happens. It comes with it. It comes with when you breed dogs.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, and the more doggies that you have, the quicker you progress to the
absolutely.
L. Like you're gonna take an L sooner or later. The more dogs you have, the quicker you're gonna find one.
yeah.
That's just all there is to it.
Yep.
So Suave Cash wants to know this is a question for each of you fellas. Okay, what is your favorite coat colors and why?
I'm biased, I guess, because I got grand champion Luca Brasi, so I love my blues. Everybody else might not like them, but if I had to pick another color out of besides blue, I would say I like a chocolate try. You know what I mean? Like those are nice, colorful dogs, but I just love my blues, man. I'm biased because like I said, I got grand champion Luca Braxton, man, and that dog is my favorite dog. So.
Yeah. And I'm kind of the same way. I've always liked blue.
This is ironic.
I think back from like the pit bull days, that was when every time I saw a pit bull, if it was blue, I thought that was the best looking pit bull. You know what I mean? So I was just always attracted to that color. So and the hard part is it's not the most popular color in the community. Like there's not that many people that think blue's all that. Like they like tricolors and all that. If you look at the dogs that win in the ring, they're almost all fawn. Like very rarely do you see something other than a fawn or maybe a black tri or something like that. I don't remember last time I saw a blue like really go on a tear in the ring.
Stan, they say your screen is blue.
Yeah.
Stan.
Can you guys say mine? It looks
it's
clear on my end.
It's blurry. We just shout it out.
It's blue.
So the ironic is the winner is the person of the next question. Aries, God of Bullies. So you are the winner of the fit collar on the post, and we're going to spin the wheel on the question here in a second. So
okay,
you can read that
question.
Do you
down bring
there, Roger
your show dogs out in public settings to give them exposure, or do you keep them hidden away?
I mean, me personally, I take Luca. I done been to department stores with Luca, parks. I bring them out. It just depends, you know what I mean? Like, it just depends on the setting. Like, as far as, like, obviously I bring them out to shows and stuff like that. I just make sure I'm careful more at shows because, I'm just careful when I bring him to shows. But, yeah, he comes out in public. All my dogs,
right?
You know what I mean? So.
I think there's probably not a replacement for showing up with your dog. As far as marketing goes, like you just let people come, you let people see your dog. At the end of the day, that's the most important thing.
Right.
When dogs are young, they can be a little bit awkward, and you want to keep them tucked away until they get all their shit together and they're moving right and they look good. You want to give them time to fill out. But when that dog has hit his mark, it's time to get his ass out and get him to shows and let people put hands on him and inviting your clients to come and see him, just whatever. Let people get hands on the dog is the most important thing. I think people will find that maybe a dog has something they don't like about him. Maybe they're a little easty-westy or maybe they think their head's too small, right? So they always try to hide behind photos and just post photos of the dog and try to hide whatever flaws that the dog has. When the reality of it is majority of people, they already know. Like they know the way you stack your dog and take a picture of it. Obviously, you're probably hiding something, right? So they already know. And you're still going to find people that'll want to use your stud, even if it does have a little head or whatever's wrong with it. They probably have some positive traits of that stuff that people want to use. So just get him out there. Just get him out there, and who cares what people say? Just get him out there.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so congratulations, Nelly Watts. You are the winner of the bonus one tonight for the questions of the fit collar. So make
Smith
sure you hit us
Family
up.
Bullies wants.
All right.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, we'll just do.
Okay.
We'll do a couple more questions. Yeah, we'll do a couple more
brother.
questions and we'll call it a night.
Smith Family Bullies wants to know what's
All right.
the best features that Lucas throws.
Best feature Luca throws is he throws some nice heads, man. He throws some nice heads in
For
my
sure.
opinion. On females, males, it don't matter. You know what I mean? He's throwing it and he's throwing this, muscle definition and all that. You know what I mean? Like Luca. I mean, I got pictures where Luca, if you catch him at the right angle, his tricep is bigger than my tricep, and I work out every day.
Yeah. That's right.
All right. We'll go with this last one. So Beast of Peace _ first. How long have you been in the bully world and what made you walk that path? I think we answered that at the beginning, but just if you can repeat it, that would be great for the current listeners.
I got brought in by somebody, we was talking about dogs and stuff like that. So somebody kind of turned me on to bullies. And once I did my research and fell in love with them, it's been up ever since. So I would say somebody, kind of brought me into it, and it's been what it is.
That's a big advantage, really,
Awesome.
to have somebody kind of bring you in and say, "Hey, we're doing this thing over here. Like, come in here."
Right.
Other than you trying to get on the internet and figure out for yourself what you wanted, to have someone available to you that can kind of expose you to the bully universe that is, and say, "Hey, this, we'll get you a dog. We can get you hooked up." People that know what they're doing. That's a huge advantage in trying to figure it out by yourself.
Well, yeah, and I want to add on to that question is that what made you feel that the reason why that person brought you in? Was it something because you think they felt like they saw some, something in you that could bring value to the community, or
to me.
what are your thoughts on that?
We
To you, like what made you
together? So we kind of got in the bully game together. Like they're
okay?
still in the bully game to this day. It's just I didn't really, I always had dogs around, but I knew about American Bullies, but I didn't like dig into it. Like what I mean, they brought me like okay, here's American Bully. They got these shows going on and stuff like that. So I knew I wanted to. I did my research and did my due diligence, and that's what really brought me in the game, and that's when I jumped in here first and bought 6 dogs in 1 year.
Maybe that. So, outside of your yard, in your program, who are your top 3 favorite studs out there right now or in history, and why?
Top 3. That's
top 3.
We're gonna go with Graham. We're gonna go with GC. I mean that's a given. And
okay.
Top 3. We go to Rocco. We gotta go with the big dog, man. We gotta go with Rocco.
There you go. But I mean, it's hard to beat that 3 for sure. So
off of Rocco. So I mean that blood is
pay homage,
man. Like you can't deny it. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's for sure.
Well, Bernard, man, thank you so much for coming on. We wanted to kick this year off in the right directions, and having someone like you who's I think brings so much value, not just to the bully game, but in life in general, man. So where can people find you at?
On Instagram, Rocktown Bullies, and on Facebook, you can follow us at Rocktown Bullies. Personal page, which I think is full right now, but it's Bernard Toney. Yeah, man. Glad you brought me on, man. I appreciate y'all, man. You, Rod, you Stan, everybody else, X-Dog.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. We're really excited, man. Like I'm definitely a big fan of your program and your vision, and just I'm grateful to have you in my network of people, man. So thank you again for coming on. And for those who miss it tonight, make sure you guys can tune in on Spotify, Apple, all the streaming networks, of course, YouTube and stuff like that. And if you didn't win this week in the Fit Collar, go ahead and share that post and follow those rules, and you'll get to enter next week, man. But I'll holler at y'all later, man. And as always, Team X Dog Strong, baby.
See you, bud.